after I gave him the ultimatum, he just looked at me in my face and was like, if you feel like you need to move, move. And so we went through 3 months of like chicken, where I had no friends in Vegas, no family in Vegas. I just really blurted that out. I did not mean it. I had no intention. I had no job.
Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
I had nothing. I had no plans on moving to Vegas. I thought I was going to force this man to propose to me. For 3 months, he was like, do what you got to do. You want to move, move. So the last day I was putting my stuff in the car, he came over and helped me put my stuff in the car.
See what I mean?
We putting stuff in the trunk, and I just start crying. I'm like, you really going to let me leave?
I don't know who that man is, but I need to meet him and shake his hand. There are so many women, specifically like on social media. They'll tell you like, oh, you can make a man do this, you can make a man do that. You can't make a grown-ass man who pay his own bills and make his own decisions do a goddamn thing. That's
Straight up.
When y'all get to listen to y'all girlfriends too much. Give him an ultimatum. Give him an ultimatum. That grown-ass man, I can help you pack. All right. Bro, start helping her put her shit in the trunk. Oh, she was sick.
I bet dude was like, say, what you want this at? You want this in the trunk or you want this in the front? What you want that? All right, cool. Anything else? You need help with anything? All right, cool. Well, listen, it's been nice knowing you, man. Go ahead, handle your business, man. I wish you the best and everything like that. Tell your mom and them I said, hey. Say, bro, you don't get no man no ultimatum, dog. Straight up, man. That boy gonna take his ball and go home. If he wanted to marry your ass, he'd have been did it. Or, unless he like me, I ain't getting married broke. That's one thing I was never gonna do is get married broke. And that's not gonna happen. Straight up. Because the number one reason why dudes and women get divorced is because of finances. Real talk. So if you broke, it don't make no sense to get married. Straight up. But I definitely feel him, man. You don't let nobody strong arm you into doing something that you ain't want to do.
They literally are trying to turn us into men right before our own very eyes. And the millennials, y'all better look out for the younger generation, because I'm telling you, between this, now we supposed to be cool with a man that could pay electricity bill while we go out here and pay all the bills. That means we can't be soft women. How can we be soft women and we the ones out here working, taking care of our man? That's not going to work. So, now they also trying to make us cool with, treating men on dates and courting men and being the aggressor in a relationship damn near. Like they literally are trying to turn us into men.
I apologize. It gotta stop something. You right.
Right before that was next for the black woman, that the black woman now got to become the black man to get a man. I mean, what is going on with us? There's no other woman in another community that's now being required to become a damn man to get her man. This shit don't make no sense, y'all. It's getting scary out here, for real.
All right, ladies, when you need a reference of what men be talking about when they say a lot of y'all are delusional, this is the woman that y'all need to refer to, because she is delusional to the 10th power. It's really bad, man, because I think she actually believes this stuff. Real talk. But look, since we already on the topic of ultra delusional women, I gotta show y'all this one. This one here take the cake. I ain't gonna hold y'all, bro.
Oh, the hardest part of dating right now is the fact that I'm just so much cooler than these men, so much more funny than them, so much more good looking, so much more exciting, and it's like, what am I getting in return?
Going to be some fine.
Nothing. Zero things. Except for a meal, which I could have DoorDashed to my house if I really wanted to. So let's talk about it. What is the point of going on a date when you are just such a hot, fun, talented, smart, sexy, confident girl?
What the hell? You suck.
I just can't deal anymore because the conversations with these men is literally so mundane that it hurts my head. It gives me a migraine. Either they're talking about their feelings from something that happened 15 years ago and you're like, you need to go to therapy for this because there's no reason it should still be bothering you from 15 years ago. Or they're talking about their accomplishments or achievements at work. Or they're just repeating stories that they've already told you and trying to make you laugh at them again. But it's like, you already told me the story and I already laughed at it. So I'm not going to laugh again because I don't like hearing repeat stories. Because at that point, I'm just stroking your ego and then I'm energizing you as a spiritual being and you're draining me as a spiritual being.
It is sad though.
And I don't think that's fair. So I would rather literally stay home and just be energized in my own spiritual being than be in the presence of someone that I feel like I have to lift up, because then they're dragging me down by me lifting them up. And baby, I'm not gonna let that happen. The only interactions that I have found personally that leave me feeling more energized than drained these days is with other women, but even that's draining sometimes, so I'm gonna say with one other woman. In the company of one woman is where I feel the most energized, which is probably very telling, but it's like I'm not attracted to women and I can't change that. I can't change that. So I'm forced to be in the company of men, but then I can't be in the company of them because they drain me, so I just have to keep filtering them out until I find one that energizes me. But I don't even think that they know how to get to that spiritual level where they can energize someone in a conversation, because they have not done the inner work, and so all their conversations are surface level, and it's starting to show, and I'm really starting to feel it, and I'm really disappointed.
I don't know about y'all, but to me, she comes off as the type of person who lives in an echo chamber. Friends that she do have, they love to sit up there and complain about life. Misery loves company type of shit. Real talk. Because I cannot imagine anybody having a productive or even pleasant interaction with her. This is how she really behave in real life, dog. Like, can we have a normal conversation? Man, bro. Ain't nobody that damn high on their high horse to think that they're perfect and everybody else is screwed up, bro. It's just nah. I talk my shit, but I know I got my flaws. Some of these people get on here and really think that they all that in a slice of bread and a bag of chips and all that other shit that they be saying, bro. These people crazy if you ask me.
This is why real high value men will go after single moms. Don't fight me on this, because I'm a living proof. Not in my own life, but somebody that I know. A high value man knows his value and his worth and what he brings to a woman. There's going to be no child that is going to interfere with that.
Wow.
Damn. High value men want children, and real men are going to love children as their own.
Bitch, I see what you did there.
Even if it's not their own. So you having a child is now an addition to their entire family that either they were seeking, that they wanted, or they were looking to create in the future. Now you have a child, and that's part of my family, and we're all a family.
That's suspicious like shit.
That's what a real high value man is. So if you ever hear a guy saying like, oh, you have a child, or, oh, I don't want nothing to do with that, that means one, they're not going to love your child, and they're just looking at you as a piece of meat, not as their family. And number two, they probably don't have the means to take care of your child because they're broke bums, and we don't want those men anyway. Now, mind you, I'm talking like I'm a single mom, but I know a lot of single mothers. And it doesn't always happen because you're irresponsible. It can literally happen. Get married, husband dies, now you're a single mother. Single widow, like whatever. But real, true, high-value men are going to be seeking or not avoiding someone because they're a mother. I think the real issue is that when people are dating and they're young, they're like, oh, I don't want to have a child and hang out with you at the same time.
Better, man. Enjoy yourself, huh?
It's because they're children and they're not high-value men. They're boys. Do not date these boys. You need to date men.
I don't know a whole lot of high value men who are out here just saying, I'm going to date a single mother. I'm not saying that they out here I'm not saying that they out here saying that they absolutely will not date one, but I know they ain't out here saying, nah, I got to go find me a wife that already got some kids. That ain't coming out their mouth. And I will say this, they do have some men who make a lot of money. They're popular and whatever. They will get with a woman who has kids for another man. But I can tell you this, bro. Men like me and other people I know, and probably most of the men who watch these videos, don't respect those guys. Like, nobody has a whole lot of respect for Russell Wilson. Nobody has a lot of respect for Steve Harvey. Nobody has a lot of respect for any of those guys who took on those type of women. Let's be real. We don't want to be like them. We might want their bank account, but other than that, we don't want nothing to do with them men. So for her to say everything she just said, that's cap, bro. I think most men would prefer a woman who ain't got no kids, so that if they do decide to have kids one day, it'll be theirs.
Of men not being able to handle being subjected to content that caters to women, even though women every single day have to endure content only made for men. The first category is just when they have to start seeing something made for women too much. And the obvious example is the Barbie movie. They were just so annoyed that Barbie was everywhere. They could not escape it, and that like people were talking about it more than Oppenheimer. This applies to any women-centric content that just becomes so popular that men have to start to hear about it more than they want to.
We'll tell you the real deal with it.
Like this guy that made his wife put money in a jar every time she she mentioned Taylor Swift. This happens anytime women just start to like something, start to talk about something enough that it seeps into men's consciousness. Like when we were all joking about girl math a few months ago, they were so mad that it was so popular, it was reaching them. Another category is when something men see as being made for them starts to be a little less made for them, like when they made this female-centric Marvel movie and they lost their minds. They just think every piece of content should be geared towards them. Pro tips for launching successful movie geared towards guys. This is how they reacted when there was a female lead of a Marvel movie, which women also watch. This girl just went to see the movie and this person tweeted at her calling her fat and ugly. The same thing happened when they tried to put women in the Ghostbusters movie. Again, it doesn't matter if people think these movies are good or not. They were mad that they were made. This is the most ridiculous example, but I think it still applies. There were men who were mad that the brown M&M was being remade to be less sexy, less appealing to men. Like, why do the M&Ms have to cater to male gaze? They're just like, if my eyes have to see the brown M&M, she should be dressing for me. The issue is not that sports bars play sports. It's that male content is so omnipresent. The infrastructure is so readily available that you're always seeing content made for you that men cannot handle when content made for women comes across their TV.
Are you in so much competition with me?
Comes across their For You page. They act like babies.
They say, bruh, it's sad when you gotta go out there and cherry pick all of these specific examples, these one-offs, to try to drive your point home, bruh. Ain't nobody really checking for y'all like that, bruh. I don't hear a lot of dudes complaining about any of the stuff you just brought up. I ain't gonna hold you. And y'all got a whole lot of things that cater to only y'all, and y'all don't hear us complaining about it. You don't hear men complaining about the real, housewives of Hollywood and Atlanta and all that shit. You don't hear us real basketball wives of LA and all. We don't care. It's only when y'all start to mention us in the whole process that we start to talk about it. But we let y'all have y'all little true crime stuff. We let y'all have y'all little makeup videos and all that kind of, man, nobody cares. But when y'all start trying to take our stuff and impose it on us, that's different. Like if I go to the sports bar and all of a sudden every TV is just showing WNBA and women's softball, I'm upset at that. I didn't come here to see that. The game is on right now. The NFL game is on right now. The NBA game is on right now, and it's mostly men in here. Why do we want to watch that? I would take an issue with that. That's for damn sure.
You know what? My husband is the one that asked me to come on here. He said, you need to talk to these women. Tell them, give them some advice. But it feels like talking to my 19-year-old child when I talk to y'all. Because you have every excuse why what I'm saying doesn't work. The most common is you've been married 20 years, things have changed. Okay, if the men have changed, you haven't.
You don't play with me. You don't know who you're messing with.
You haven't changed for the better? No, you have not changed for the better. You are more miserable than you are before. You do not listen to your elders. You don't listen to anybody but social media. I want to be like Russell and Sierra. You don't even know them. But you could get on here and ask me any question you want to ask me, and I will try to answer it from my personal experience. But you don't want to listen to that. You want to sit there with your girlfriends and whine and cry about this, that, and the other, and they can't give you no advice. My daughters have come to me so many times and asked me, tell me stories. She loves to talk and just tell me this happened, that happened. You want me to tell you how this going to end? Do you want to know how this going to end? Well, no, this ain't going to happen. I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to be. A, B, C, D. That's what's going to happen. And guess what? That's what happens. The story is the same, but the names have been changed to protect the innocent. You are not anything new. Your stories are not anything new. You just think you're going to change the story. No, it don't apply to me because I've already been picked. So you're not going to listen to me because I'm in a place where many women want to be. You're going to listen to the people that ain't nowhere near where you want to be.
Man, shut your lying ass up.
Because you can't talk to Russell and Sierra. You don't know them. But you want to wish on that. Name me somebody in a position that you could put your hands on and they can give you advice. Not somebody on social media. Not somebody that look like they doing what they doing. Because I have always been a devil's advocate when it comes to relationships. What's the worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario? This ain't gonna work. Make whatever excuse you want to make. Listen to whoever you want to listen to. But I am on here to help y'all out. Now, if you don't want to listen and you think my stuff is outdated, you go right on ahead and make that excuse. And then when the shit go bad, you can sit here and say, well, I don't understand why it went bad. Nobody told me anything. I tell y'all this the same way I tell my children. I'm going to tell you whether you want to hear it or not.
All right, then.
Because I don't ever want you to say that nobody told you.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, and I don't care what nobody say. The average age at a point where men and women start to actually strongly consider what older people are telling them, vastly different. Real talk. You take a 21-year-old boy and a 40-year-old man gives him some game, he's probably gonna take at least 50% of it. You take a 21-year-old woman and let a 40-year-old woman give her some game, she probably gonna throw all that shit out the window. I'm talking, not even consider any of it. Real talk, because, I'm young, I'm lit, I'm pretty, all of the guys are checking for me right now. So they have no reason to do it because they're getting what they want. But a 21-year-old dude, a lot of times he ain't got what he want. And he see an older man who got something that he want, he gonna listen to that dude, even if he don't take everything in. He's listening to the parts that make sense to him. Real talk. And then as we get older, I listen more to older people. I'm telling you, man, I know women my age and older who still don't give a damn about what no older woman got to say or anybody who's in a better position than them have to say. Some of y'all do listen, but a lot of y'all don't. And then when y'all do choose to listen, y'all choose to listen to people who are your age, who are single, who are broke, who are miserable. And for some reason, y'all think that's good advice. I don't get that, man. Real talk. Listen to your elders. They're not going to tell you nothing wrong. Hopefully. I ain't going to say all the time because some of these older women is better as y'all are. But that's neither here nor there.